ॐ दक्षिणास्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञानगुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We are now studying Adi Shankaracharya's one of the most popular stotras, which is an Advaita Parastotra. That means there is a lot of teaching of Advaita here. And this particular stotra, which is called as Moha Mudgaraha, or a hammer which actually hammers away one's moha or delusion. And then he says, Bhajagovindam. Popularly, this is called as Bhajagovindam because the very theme of this particular Moha Mudgara is asking us, the human beings, to see the futility of our goals which are Artha Kama based, the futility of the ephemeral or anitya phalam of all our material goals, and choose moksha as the Purushartha. Bhaja Govinda means, Bhaja means choose, Govinda means God or Atma or Brahman. So may you choose Atma, may you choose this knowledge, may you choose God. What is the meaning of this? May you make the Purushartha Nishchaya of moksha. Since we already know that we have got 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha Purusharthas, all the first 3, Dharma, Artha and Kama Purusharthas, are only going to keep us in bondage. It may, the karmas or whatever we do in pursuing our Dharma, Artha, Kama Purusharthas may get us to higher lokas, may get us whatever we want and improve our living in here and now, or it may get us to better lokas after death. But ultimately, all the 3 Purusharthas, by accrual of Papa and Punya, are only going to keep us in bondage. They are only going to make us come back again and again. Of course, Dharma is a Purushartha where if I am doing my pursual of Dharma Purushartha with the Sankalpa of Chitta Shuddhi, with the desire to get whatever is needed for this Jnanam, then Dharma Purushartha can go with Moksha Purushartha. Dharma Moksha Purusharthas, where I live a life of Dharma as it is told in the scriptures and develop a Jnana Yogyata Prapti which makes me go for Atmajnana and choose Moksha Purushartha. But the Artha Kama, which are called as the prayas, as we recently completed Kathopanishad, is exactly opposite. The Prayo Marga is exactly opposite to the Shreyo Marga, which is nothing but the ultimate goal of moksha. What is moksha? I want to be free from this samsara. But where do the Artha Kama keep me? They always keep me in bondage. And what is the delusion about the Artha Kama Purusharthas? I feel a temporary sense of fulfillment. I feel a temporary sense of having achieved something. Temporarily, my unhappiness, my apurnatvam is gone for a short period of time. But I realize that my apurnatvam comes back again and again. With that apurnatvam, that I want to be somewhere else, I want to be something else, I'm not happy the way I am an inadequate person, I want something more, I want to achieve something more. This gives rise to raga or desire. This raga gives rise to karma. This karma gives rise to karma phala, which is ephemeral, which is anitya. And then, rather than understanding from this ephemeral and anitya karma phalas, I get deluded into getting more and more and more involved in artha kamas, more and more involved in the material pursuits, and then suffer. And there is shoka. We saw in Bhagavad Gita also raga, shoka, moha, the desire to be something else, the desire for arthakama, the desire for material acquisitions and benefits, which ultimately dilutes me into continuously going on in cycles in this and keeps me in sorrow. So, raga, moha, and shoka is called as samsara. And what does Shankaracharya say? The very first step for a mumukshu is to see the futility of arthakama desires, the futility to see what are our to the futility of getting into the fields of our delusion, the futility of getting more and more caught in our delusion for material acquisitions. So what here Bhagwan Shankaracharya says is he brings about each and every field of raga, shoka, moha, ahankara, mamakara, all these fields of delusion, one by one, Bhagwan Shankaracharya picks up and tells us that ultimately all this, every field of your delusion is only going to keep you in samsara. May you realize it now, get out of your delusion, and then choose Govinda, choose moksha as your purushartha. So, for a mumukshu, for a person who wants to go on the Shreyo Marga, the first thing is what is Purushartha Nishchaya. So, what did Bhagwan Krishna say to Arjuna? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana. Ekeha vyavasayatmika buddhi means think clearly. What is it that is keeping me in bondage? And what Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan does is he brings out every field of moha that we are, every field of delusion which we are involved in, which keeps us constantly in samsara, and says, Bhaja Govindam, Govinda Bhaja Mudamate. Hey, deluded intellect, may you choose moksha. May you choose Ishvara as your goal. May you see the futility of dabbling in Arthakama Purushartha. May you see the limitations of Arthakama Purushartha. May you see the limitations of the Karma Phala of getting into these things. And he's bringing out each and every field of our delusion. And what Shankaracharya says is that whatever I am today, whatever I have got today, no doubt my free will is involved, my prayatna is involved, my yatna is involved, no doubt about it. But there are other variables also called as kala, called as daivam or ishvara. Ishvara anugraha is what is very important in whatever I am having today. If I have got the punya today, yes, I had the free will to do punya karmas and accrue this punya karma phala. At the same time, my free will alone is not sufficient here, but may you understand that whatever you have got now, whatever you are enjoying, is what is given by Ishvara, and that is a gift to you. And any time that particular comfort of your comfort zone can go anytime. If you're dabbling around in this Arthakama Purusharthas out of moha, don't be under the delusion that this particular Arthakama Purusharthas are always going to back you. If today you're fine with the things around you, it is not only your self effort, but to a large extent, it is also Ishvara Anugraha, and also depending upon my prarabdha. Whatever I have today, I can lose it at any time. And Artha Kama are not the ones which give me permanent peace, security, and happiness or release from the bondage of samsara. Therefore, Bhajagovindam. May you choose moksha as the Purushartha. This is the first step for a mumukshu who wants to walk the path of Advaita and who has his final goal as moksha. And we saw first 5 verses. I'm not going to repeat the verses. I'll go to the sixth verse. Fifth verse, I'll just very briefly, I'll talk to first verse. What did he say about, taking the Purushartha Nishchaya, Bhaja Govindam. Second verse, he talked about the delusion of Artha. The delusion of Artha in the form of security, where we go after money and other resources, and how ephemeral and temporary it is. He talked about it. Then in the third verse, he talked about the Kama Purushartha, as to how going after fulfilling our Kama Purusharthas is also ultimately such a useless pursuit, because ultimately it is going to bring me to only dukkha. That sukha which I experience out of Kama Purushartha is a very, very limited or anitya phala. Next, he said in the fourth verse, he said, life is absolutely unstable. Life is unpredictable. It is like a drop of water which is flowing on a leaf. And with every movement of the leaf, there is a possibility of this drop of water falling down and disintegrating itself. Therefore, may you understand that when this life is itself so unpredictable, how can you depend upon your arthakama purusharthas that is going to keep you happy forever? We don't know. Death may be waiting around the corner for us. Today I am there, tomorrow I may not be there. It does not mean that I should not plan my life. I should plan my life, but I should understand that in spite of all my planning, there is a possibility that the life I may just not be alive the next day. And this particular understanding is very important when we do Purushartha Nishchaya, especially Moksha Purushartha Nishchaya. Then we went to the fifth verse last time, where Mamakara was talked about. Mamakara. We always feel that this is my family. These are my people. These are the people that are going to be with me all the time. These are the people who are going to help me, love me. But what Shankaracharya says is very, very disturbing. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, nobody does anything for you out of love and affection. All the love in this human realm is nothing but conditional. There is only one unconditional love, that is the relationship between Jiva and Ishvara. It is Jiva Ishvara. Only from Ishvara I can find unconditional love. No other human being, whoever it may be, in the form of Mamakara, there is no question of unconditional love. As long as I am productive, as long as I am contributing, I will be respected, I will be loved. But the moment I become a useless person, not contributing, not really doing anything for the so called my family, my people, I become a burden, and people will go out of the way to even express it that you are a burden to us. That's why we saw that in the last session, where I said, यावद्वित्तोपार्जनसक्तः तावन्निजपरिवारो रक्तः पश्चाज्जीवति जर्जरदेहे वार्तां कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे. Yavad as long as I am able to earn and contribute something for the family, tavan nija parivaro raktaha. Nija parivaraha. I take so much pride in my husband, my family, my children, my wife. No, but once I have stopped being a contributor, I have outlived my utility, I have no respect from any one of the so called my people. Paschat jivati jarjara dehe. I'm incapable of doing anything. At least if I'm capable of doing my own things, look after myself, They may not care for me, but they will at least not bother me. But by chance, jarjara dehe, I become a dependent upon them with financial dependence, health dependence. I become a bedridden, dependent on them. I become a burden to them. Vartam kopina prichati gehe. In the house, nobody will care for me. Nobody will even ask me how I am doing. If I am lucky, I may have people around me who are doing their duty of looking after me, but there may not be the love that I expect from them. It may not come. That's why in an Upanishad, it's called Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a samvada, there is a dialogue between Yajnavalkya Rishi and his wife Maitreyi. And Yajnavalkya says in this, it's an Upanishadic statement. The Rishi says that there's no question of unconditional love here at all. If you love somebody, if you care for somebody, it is only because you get something out of them. Atmanastu kamaya patihi priya bhavati. Nava are patyur kamaya patih priyo bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. That means what? All relationships are based on if I can contribute something. Very disturbing. We may not agree with it, but that is the truth. Sometime or the other, we will understand that that is the truth. And next verse we'll go to today. I'm so much entangled with my body. I feel that this is my body. And I can't think that one day this body will not be there. One day this body is going to age and may not be able to do what I was doing earlier. But that strong entanglement with the body, so much of attention is given. Not that Veda asks us not to give attention, because body is the vehicle through which we are going to attain the moksha purushartha. It is the ratha we saw in Kathopanishad. It has to be taken care of. The ratha should be road worthy for this travel towards moksha. This body should be worthy. Yes, it has to be taken care of, but there is a limit. But many times we are obsessed with our body, obsessed with our body, and we keep on doing so many things, so many times kinds of diet, so many kinds of exercises, so many things. All the time we are thinking what I can do, to look young, to keep young. What can I do to keep my body in its present situation? Yes, we have to keep it healthy. Yes, there is a limit, but most of the time the involvement with the body and the indulgence in the body is beyond what is necessary. So what he says is here, even that body is not also not going to be with you forever. He says, yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pritchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayo deha paye bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. This body which I keep well anointed, well dressed. Yes, we can't be, very sloppy about things. We have to be presentable, we have to do everything that is possible. But what Shankaracharya is talking about is this great obsession with this body all the time. He says, Yavat pavano nivasati dehe, as long as this prana is there within the body. Pavanaha means prana, pranavayu, nivasati dehe, is there in this body. Tavat prichati kushalam gehe. Till this body is alive, at least there is some interaction with the people around me, in my family, with my family members. Gatavati vayo deha paye. When the prana goes out of the body, and this living body, sentient body, becomes a dead body. They don't even call this body when it is dead by my name. What do they say? Oh, so and so passed away. The body is in the morgue. When are they bringing the body? No, no, we can't keep the body for 3 days till somebody comes. It is better we cremate it. So that body becomes a it for others. That becomes a body. They don't even call it by that name. And this body becomes ashaucham. people who went around me, people who embraced me in love, people who were with me always, they are not even willing to come near the body. They're afraid to come near my body. If somebody, my close friends, come to visit me, they go home and have a bath. This body is considered to be a shaucham. And all my life, I have spent hours and hours on decorating this body and taking care of this body. He says, Gatavati Vayo Deha Paye Bharya Bibhyati Tasmin Kaye. Bharya actually means wife. Bharya can also mean those who are dependent upon me. Even those people who depended upon me, even those people whom I took care, they also become afraid of this body. Nobody wants to come near. My own very close people want to get rid of this body, dispose of this body as early as possible. Why is Shankaracharya Bhagwan bringing all these things? These are the truths of life. And many times we refuse to see the truth of life. Oh, I'm not so much entangled with the body. No, my family members are not like that. Maybe the others are like that. Is the truth, which is the with the hard truth, which Bhagwan Shankaracharya is saying. That is why it is called as Moha Mudgaraha. He's hammering us with the truths of life, which we probably do not want to accept. We don't even want to think of it that yes, my own family may disown me when I become a burden. I don't even want to think of that. My own family will get scared of me when they see my dead body when I'm dead. I don't want to think about that. And it is these places where Shankaracharya actually is hammering our fields of delusion. So, Mamakara, Ahankara fields here have been completely hammered. And Shankaracharya says, see the truth of it, understand it. You don't have to do anything. You understand how ephemeral and how temporary are all the relationships in this world. How temporary is your own body going to be with you? How? For a few years, that's all. And there is so much we do for the sake of this body. Everything that we do right from our childhood is for the sake of the safekeeping of this body. Not that we should not do it, but let us all the time think when we are overdoing something. Let us think that really is it worth doing all these things. That is where Shankaracharya is opening our eyes to see where we are so that we are aware of where we are spending all our time and energy, and we can go to the Shreyo Marga in the form of choosing Moksha Purushartha. Then he says, there is always a kind of a feeling that I will come to spirituality or I'll come to the study of the scriptures sometime later when I retire. It's always there. I feel that, I have so much to do when I'm young. When I'm married and when I'm having a house to take care of, there is so much to do. Who has the time for all these things? It's only the old people, retired people, demented people, people who have forgotten everything, people who can't hear, people who can't walk. They have nothing else to do. Let them go and sit in a class of scriptures or Vedanta class. And if a youngster comes to scriptures, he is always made fun of. Parents are afraid when their children go to Vedanta, they're afraid. Why God, what is going to happen? He's not interested in studies. He's interested in going to a guru and learning scriptures. So they are scared. They try to dissuade their children from going to Vedanta. They say this is not the age for you to study the scriptures. Time will come later. Sometime later, when you have finished all your responsibilities, then you can study Vedanta. Then you can study the scripture. This is the general feeling of most of the people. And that is what our Bhagwan Shankaracharya wants to say, that one can go on postponing the study of scriptures, but one will find that unless I find time for the study of scriptures, it is not going to come. It is not going to come. And if I'm not used to it right from my younger days, after my retirement, after the age of 60, sitting and listening to the guru for 1 or 2 hours becomes highly impossible. It is not possible. One can't develop the commitment to the scriptures after a certain age. It has to start from a very young age itself. And therefore, what does he say? बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्तः. Of course, childhood, we have to give it up because in childhood, a very rare, probably, a very, very rare mumukshu may be having this mumukshutvam in childhood. Like Nachiketa, we saw. A Nachiketa 8-year-old boy. But for all practical purposes, in the majority, it is very rare to find a very young child, Balaha, interested in this because he is more interested in activities like playing, education, everything. So, Balas Tavat Krida Saktaha. The childhood is gone in play, in learning. Tarunas Tavat Taruni Saktaha. The youth comes, there are other priorities. There are other things for the youth. There are other priorities where a youth wants to get involved. If any young person, a school student or a college student, comes to a Vedanta class or a scripture class, he's made fun of in his school or college. We have seen that. I've seen that. They say they are making fun of me because I'm attending the classes. So that is what happens. So what here he says is Tarunastavat Taruni Saktaha. The priorities are totally different. When you are a youth, there's no question of the scriptures. You feel that, I have everything now. That garva of Yavana, we'll see that in the next verse, that there is nobody equivalent to me. Nothing is going to happen to me. I'm at the top of the world. That kind of a confidence which is there in the youth in some way has the youth whose priorities are different. So tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. When the retirement comes, old age comes, there are chintas. Health is not okay. Body is not cooperating with my sitting. Sitting down and getting up itself becomes a problem. Going to a guru and learning becomes another problem. The mind is not clear in its thinking. The sense organs are not working properly. And at this stage, there is chinta. Health is troubling me. My finances are troubling me. The family problems are troubling me. There is chinta. Pare brahmani kopi na saktaha. So if we wait for a time for Bhajagovindam, if we wait for a time to choose moksha as the purushartha, if we wait for a time, that automatically a time will come for me to involve myself in the study of scriptures, such a thing will never happen. Don't wait for that time to come to get into the scriptural study. Let it start early in life. The earlier it starts in life, the better rooted it gets. Therefore, he says, Pare Brahmani. In some books, it is Parame Brahmani, but the correct reading is Pare Brahmani Kopina Saktaha. Nobody is interested in this Atmajnanam. Nobody is interested in moksha because all our efforts, of course, youth is the highest of Arthakama. Arthakama pursuits are highest in the youth, and the Prayo Marga being exactly opposite to Shreyo Marga. It is impossible. At least in our younger days, we were told to do some upasana in the form of chanting something, chanting bhajans, doing bhajans, or chanting the stotras, doing Gayatri mantra, participating in the festivals. All these things were done as a part of our culture. But today, even that is not there. Even a child who has, gone through the Yajnopavitam ceremony, that child is not even doing Gayatri Japa. We are not doing anything that we are actually supposed to do. In our earlier days, normally this naturally this culture was inculcated in some way, but now that is also not there. Therefore, unless I really think of scriptures that I have to spend some time in the scriptural study, and that is the ultimate good for me, that is the shreyas for me, that is the moksha which is ultimately going to free me from all this. Unless I understand this, Unless I start young, there's no question of automatically Ishvara putting you in a situation where you are going to automatically go and learn something. That is not going to happen. That is why previously our ashrama dharmas were like that. Brahmacharya ashrama, Grahastha Vanaprastha Sannyasashrama, they were designed, the lifestyles and the stations in life were designed so that a person moved from a life of pravritti to a life of nivritti. Automatically it happened. But now, with the collapse of the Varnashrama system, we are finding that we have no time to think of scriptural studies. Then he talks about what is one's role in the family and how seriously we have taken our role. We have got so much involved with our role that we have forgotten who really we are. And we say, all those people around us, my wife, my husband, my children, my family, where have they come from? Who are they? They are just the relationship of the body we have managed to come together in this life to work out some prarabdha. But ultimately, who are they? I have to play my role with them. I have to play my responsibility towards them. Do what is necessary. But at the same time, let me ask. Acharya Shankara says, please ask yourself, who are these people that you are spending so much time on? Who are you? What is your role to play here? Is your role everything? Are you something other than the role, or are you the role itself? Think over it. That is what he's going to talk about. Inquiring into your role. So the next verse, the eighth verse says, Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaro yamativa vichitraha kasya tvam kaha kuta ayataha tatvam chintaya tadiha bhrataha. Hey Bhrata, hey brother, Kasyatvam, who do you belong to? Do you belong to your parents? Your parents gave you only the body. Only this body was given by your parents. But you were never born from your parents. You were a jiva, you are a jiva who has been traveling for years and years and janmas. Your mother didn't give birth to you, the jiva. She only gave you a body to embody yourself. Once this body goes, she is no longer your mother, you are no longer her child. As long as your body is there, your child is your child. All relationships in the world are only related to this external body. I'm a son or a daughter or a father or a mother to somebody, brother or sister, because of the relationship of this body to that body. But as a jiva, I'm in no way connected with any other jiva. I have come here to work my prarabdha out with these jivas. So, kasyatvam, whom do you belong to? Kuta ayataha, from where have you come? You have been a ever traveling jiva, and none of these people belong to you. You incidentally are there with them for a particular purpose, but none of these people belong to you. Kate Kanta, first line. Who is this wife? Who is this person called wife? She has come to you, you have come in her life to work out some prarabdha because of some purva janma karma. Your Kate Kaste Putraha. Who are your children? They have come through you, you have given them a body. That's all you have done. They are independent jivas, but then with this jiva they have something to work out. They have come. What is your relationship? Jiva to jiva, what is the relationship? As long as I am alive, I will say you are my son or I am your mother. But once this body is dead and gone, who is the mother? Who is the son? This jiva has embodied millions of times and has been millions of mothers to millions of children earlier. So, what is this? Kate Kanta Kaste Putraha Kasyatvam Kaha Kuta Ayataha Samsaroyam Ativa Vichitraha. Actually, what I call my people, my family, my relatives, this, that, it is Vichitra. Nobody really belongs to anybody. Nobody is really related to anybody. It is just incidentally that we are coming together, we are giving a name to a particular connection. A particular connection is there for which we are giving a name for the sake of transactions. That's all. Otherwise, what is that? Tattvam chintayatadiha. May you think over this. All the time you are thinking of your children, what they are doing, what they are not doing, what you have done for them, what you have not done for them, why they are treating you like that, why they are doing like that. Who are they? What is my connection with them? If I have come to work up some prarabdha with them, once that prarabdha is over, they are not going to be there in my life. I'm not going to be there in my life. Why are you wasting your time in fulfilling these relationships beyond a certain extent? You have a role to play. Ishvara has given you a role to play. Play the role to the best of your ability, but don't be entangled in this relationship as mine and mine and mine. This is a delusion. To think that this is my family, this is a delusion. This field of taking my role too seriously and considering everybody as mine and mine and mine, this is a very strong delusion which keeps us from seeing what we are. So try to come out of it. Tattvam chintaya tadiha. Here and now, whenever you're transacting with anybody, whenever you're playing a role, think who you are and what they mean to you. This is also waking us up from another field of our delusion. Now, the next two verses we will skip now. We'll go to the 11th verse. We'll go to the 11th verse where he says, मा कुरु धनजन यौवनगर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्पं मायामयमिदमखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा मा कुरु धन जन यौवनगर्वं. When I'm young as a grahastha, when everything is going fine for me, I have what? Garva, arrogance of what? I have so much. I have acquired so much. I have so many people. I have such a large family. Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam. I am so young. I am so full of power. I am so full of strength. Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam. They are all temporary. Harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. In 1 minute, Kala or Yama can come and destroy, take away everything along with your garva. Your body can go, all your possessions you're not going to take with you, all your names and degrees that you have acquired, and the great names and titles that you have acquired are not going to go with you. Your family is not going to go with you. Harati nimeshat. And when that nimisha comes, when that time comes when everything is gone from me because of the effect of Kala or Yama, I don't know. We are seeing now young people just falling dead, just falling dead. We are seeing that at third age of 35, at the age of 40, whatever may be the reason. But Harati Nimeshat, in 1 minute, Kalaha Sarvam, Maya Mayam Idam Akhilam Buddha. May you understand that this whole thing is nothing but a projection of Maya. We have seen that in detail. We have seen in the previous three texts that we have done that his whole Jagat is nothing but an appearance. All the people, the objects in the world, the situation in the world, situations in the world are nothing but pure projection of Maya, like a dream which is projected, like a movie which is projected on a screen, like a magic which is projected by a magician. Experiential reality, but not the absolute reality. Therefore, this entire Jagat is Maya Mayamidam Mithya iti Buddha. Having known that, Brahma Padam Tam Pravisha Viditva. May you come to the scriptures to hold on to that permanent thing. Don't hold on to this temporary world, this temporary objects of the world, the temporary relationships of this world. Either you will go away or they will go away. And then we will realize that nothing is permanent here. Brahma Padam Tvam Pravisha Viditva. Having understood the ephemerality of this entire Jagat and your relationship, Brahma Padam Pravishya. That means what? Choose Moksha Purushartha. Try to understand that one Nitya Vastu which is never going to go away. That Nitya Vastu which does not come under the influence of Kala. Understand what that Nitya Vastu is. Understand what that Brahman is and be free from all the bondage of samsara. And then, how harati nimeshat kala sarvam? He says in the next verse, Dinayaminyo sayam pratah shishiravasantau punarayatah kalah kridati gacchati ayu tadapi namunchati ashavayuhu. So short this life is. Similar like Nalini Dalagata, which we saw. Dinayaminyau sayam prataha. Morning is coming, going, evening is coming and going, days are passing, nights are passing. Dina, day. Dina yaminyau. Day and night are just passing. Sayam prataha. Evening and morning are just going one after another. Shishira vasantau punarayataha. Shishira, the cold season is coming, going. Vasanta, season is coming. The seasons are coming and going. Punarayataha. Again and again. Kalaha kridati gachati ayu. Kalaha kridati. Time is playing, and when you have grown old, you yourself do not know. When I start feeling difficulty in sitting down and getting up, when my knee joints are paining, when my back is paining, when my ears are not able to hear, suddenly I realize that I have grown old. When did I grow old? When did this happen? I was so much lost in my day to day transactions with this Maya Maya Midam Jagat, with this Maya Maya Jagat, that I have not even seen how many years have passed. All of us say that. Every birthday we feel like that. My God, so many years have passed. And what have I done? Done nothing but played around in this Maya Mayam Jagat. Nothing more than that I have done. Unless I decide to come to the scriptures, Kala is not going to push me into this. Kala kridati gachati ayu, tadapina munchati ashavayuhu. I never get rid of the desire for something or the other. The desire may be different in Balaha, in Tarunaha, but different here. I never get rid of the desire. The desires are all the time there. Then we'll go to the two verses which we have missed now. That we'll go to the ninth verse now. Now, what does he say? Supposing whatever Shankaracharya has told up till now has made any difference to one of us or a few of us, and we have decided, yes, I have done enough of this coming and going. Now, Moksha Purushartha is my actual goal, and I'm going to choose Moksha Purushartha. So, what should I do? To choose Moksha Purushartha, what should I do? I should be prepared for this, number one. I should be guided by somebody as to what I should do. It is like going to a new place. I don't know. I need somebody to guide me as to where I should go, how I should go. Similarly, Moksha Purushartha is something which I have decided that I'm going to walk on, and I need a guide. So, what should I do for that? Who is the person who is going to guide me? Let us take the ninth verse, which says, Satsangatve Nisangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nischala Nischalatatve Jivan Muktihi. The whole travel of a mumukshu is talked about here. The minute you have decided about moksha purushartha nishchaya, the first thing that one needs to do is go to a guru. Okay? Tad vidhi pranipatena prariprashnena sevaya. Okay, so go to a guru. That is called as a satsangaha here. Satsanga, finding and surrendering, going and surrendering to a guru. And the guru is going to teach you as to how to prepare yourself. And the guru is going to teach you first what? Nisangatvam. The guru is going to train you towards sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The guru is going to tell you how, what is viveka, what is vairagya, what is shamadamadi shatka sampatti, what is mumukshutvam, how one has to attain this preparation for jnanam. So this nisangatvam is vairagyam or sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. I have to go to a teacher and get trained as to how to prepare myself for this jnanam. Nisangatve nirmohatvam. Once I am prepared for this knowledge by sufficient sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, then the guru will expose me to this knowledge, and that knowledge of Atma will clear my ajnana. Ajnana nasha is nirmohatvam. Of course, it is not, it is Shankaracharya is telling in one verse, in two lines, three lines. It's not that it is going to happen like that. He is only telling me the steps. Each step may take me to develop the preparation, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti itself. It may take me years together. Then jnana yoga is going to take, karma yoga is going to take me years for chitta shuddhi. Upasana yoga, years together, lives together for Chitta Naishchalyam. Jnana yoga, Nididhyasana for lives together. But don't get discouraged. Once we have started this journey, we are definitely going to find an end to it. Irrespective of the time, we are going to reach the goal. So, Nisangatve, by Nisangaha or Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti and exposure to Jnana Yoga, then what happens? Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatvam means what? My delusion is gone. Nirmohatve nischala tattvam. When my delusion is gone, when my ignorance is gone, I understand that nischala tattvam called as Brahman, which is nothing other than me, aham brahmasmi iti. Nischala tattvam means clear understanding of what that Brahma tattvam is. Nischala tattve jivan muktihi. When I understand clearly that nischala tattvam, then I am free from samsara. Understanding that Nischala Tattvam Brahman as me, myself, that is what is going to end my samsara. My delusion and my preoccupation with artha, kama, and also ahankara, mamakara, that is going to completely take me away from that. My ignorance is gone, my delusion is gone. I abide in my Atma Swarupa, which we have seen in the previous three texts we have done, and that abiding in my own Atma Swarupa and being happy without any kind of samsara binding me, that particular thing he calls as Jivan Muktihi. I am Muktaha. So, in four short lines, Bhagwan Shankaracharya has given the entire sopana or the stairway of how, going to the teacher and Jivan Mukti. From going to the teacher up to Jivan Mukti. But the very first step of going to the teacher is when I realize the uselessness of my pursuit of Arthakama. That I have to understand first. I have to see my delusion first and understand how deluded I have been. Only then I can go to a guru and ask for this knowledge. Now, he says in the next verse, which is actually the last verse of this particular Bhagwan Shankaracharya's Dvadasha Manjari. Later on, still a part of Bhajagovindam is there where the verses are given by his disciples. But the last verse of Adi Shankaracharya's work here is he's going to say that when Karanam is destroyed, the Karyam is also destroyed. When Karanam Ajnanam is destroyed, the Karyam delusion is also destroyed. And for that, in the last verse, he gives three examples. Let's read the 10th verse. We have done the 12th verse earlier, so we are doing the 9th, 10th, 10th now because we are doing it in a particular order. So let us go to the 10th verse now. That is the conclusion of Shankaracharya's Dvadasha Manjari. Vayasi gate kah kam vikarah शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाने तत्त्वे कः संसारः. Where is samsara and bondage once you have understood this Atma Tattva? That means what? When Ajnanam is destroyed, the Karanam Ajnanam is destroyed, the Karyam Samsara is also destroyed. What are the three examples that he gives? Line number 1, Vayasi Gate Kaha Kama Vikaraha. Kama Vikaraha means karma, action. In my childhood, in my younger age, I am full of energy to do karma. Kama Vikaraha means karma. I am full of energy in my youth to do karma. Vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha. As I'm getting older, I don't have the strength to do karma. Whatever may be the karma. Whatever I was doing very well earlier, I'm not able to do that. Somebody was telling me, I used to cook for a family of 25 people. But now if two guests are coming home, I get scared. I don't know how to do, what to do. That means as you get older, what happens? That strength to perform any action is gone. So age is required for that capacity to do whatever work you are doing. When age is gone, the capacity to do the work is also less. So karana nashe karya nasha. Second example, shushke nire kah kasaraha. Kasaraha means a lake. A lake is nothing but water. Shushke nire. When all the water has dried up, where is the lake? The Karanam water has dried up. Where is the lake? Kshine vitte kaha parivaraha. When I'm having power and money with me, people will be hovering around me. Kshine vitte. When I don't have power, I don't have money, nobody will be there around me. My own relatives, my own family will not have respect for me. So karana nashe, karya nashaha. Similarly, jnate tatve kaha samsaraha. Jnate tatve. When I have understood this tattva, aham brahmasmi. When I have attained the goal of moksha, where is the question of bondage of samsara? That means what? Now, Bhagwan Shankaracharya started with telling us our fields of delusion. One by one, he brought out every field of delusion and told us, hey, Mudamate, see how you are getting bound in this field of delusion. And ultimately, he said, if you have understood me and if you have chosen Govinda, if you have chosen Moksha Purushartha, may you go to a guru, start your spiritual journey, which ends in moksha. And when ajnana and delusion are completely gone, where is the samsara for you? With this, the Dvadasha Manjari, or a bouquet of 12 verses as it is called, Shankaracharya Virachita Dvadasha Manjari is over, and somebody else concludes this and says, Dvadasha Manjari Kabi Asheshah Kathito Vaiyakaranasyeshah Upadesho Bhud Vidya Nipunai Srimat Shankara Bhagavat Charanai. So, द्वादश मंजरिकाभिः अशेषः कथितः. Bhagwan Shankaracharya has actually laid down or traced the journey of an Ajnani who is after Artha Moksha Purushartha till attaining of moksha. So this Dvadasha Manjari, a bouquet of 12 verses, Kathitaha, for whom was it told? Vaiyakaranasyeshaha. For that Vaiyakarani who was studying grammar, Paninian grammar, at his ripe age of 90s, for him he said, now enough of doing karma, may you go to jnana, Bhajagovindam, may you choose moksha purushartha. So he told this to that Vaiyakarani Upadesho bhud vidya nipunaihi. This Upadesha is given by whom? By a Nipuna. Who is the Nipuna here? Shankaracharya, Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Nipunaihi Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Charanaihi. This particular knowledge is given by Bhagwan Shankaracharya, which traces the entire cycle of the life cycle from an Ajnani to a Jnani. With this, actually, the main Bhajagovindam is over. But what happens? Shankaracharya's Shishyas are so much influenced by what Acharya Shankara has said. Each of the, his disciples, we know only of 4 disciples, there are many disciples. All the disciples, many of the disciples, they write each verse of their own to add to this Bhajagovindam. So all the verses that are going to come now from the 13th verse onwards till the end of Bhajagovindam are a part of Bhajagovindam, but they are not written by Acharya Shankara, but they are all the same thing is told, the same thing which is told by Acharya Shankara in 12 verses. Now we are going to have about another 20 verses which are going to be talked about by his disciples. I'll just read the first verse, which is given by Padmapada. The 13th verse is given by his main Shishya Padmapada. And in these verses, 20 verses, I'm not going to go into as much details as I've gone in the first 12 verses, because these are actually talking about the same thing which Bhagwan Shankaracharya has told in the 12 verses. Each disciple is going to add his own verse. So we'll just read the first verse, and then in the next session, we will quickly go through the other 10 verses which are talking about the same thing. So Padmapada Acharya, one of Shankaracharya's main Shishya, says, Kate Kanta Dhanagata Chinta Vatula Tava Nasti Niyanta Trijagati Sajjana Sangati Reka Bhavati Bhavarnavatarane Nauka. So all the objects in the world, all the relationships in the world, all the money in the world, resources in the world, why are you worried about them? Hey Mudha, Vatula means Hey Mudha. Kim tava nasti niyanta? Is there no restraint on you? All the time you are thinking of these things. Trijagati sajjana sangati reka. Eka, Trijagati, in all the 3 worlds, there is only one thing which will release you from this chinta of the objects, money, relations, and the world. What is that? Sajjana Sangati, Satsangaha, finding a guru, choosing the moksha purushartha. This becomes what? Bhavati Bhavarnava Tarane Nauka. Satsangaha Guru Upasadanam is what is ultimately going to be a boat which takes you across the ocean of samsara. Bhavarnavatarane Nauka Bhavati. What becomes the Nauka? Now, getting out of this chinta of kanta, sense objects, dhana, money, wealth, clinging to the artha kama purusharthas, get out of it and get into the fold of a guru, under the influence of a guru, satsanga. This is going to be the boat which ultimately is going to lead you, take you across the ocean of samsara. Bhavarnavatarane nauka. Same thing which was told by Shankaracharya, Padmapada wrote. Next, each one of his disciples, some of them are named, some of them are not named as to who they are. Depending on whatever I have been taught, I'll tell you who wrote which verse. We'll see in the next 1 or 2 sessions the remaining verses written by Acharya Shankara's Shishyas to complement Acharya's 12 Dvadasha Manjarika. ॐ नन्दन्तु साधका सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.